Hello everyone, welcome back to Gaming with Shoggoths. As you can see, I've got a Camarasaurus here that is drinking over a fence, which I think is kind of a cool little thing. Um, I kind of just started thinking about this the other day when I was tweaking a Camarasaurus enclosure in Prehistoric Kingdom, and I was wondering if it was possible, since we used to do it in Jurassic World the first, and I actually really should try it in Jurassic World the second. I haven't given it a shot there yet, but I mean, it usually works. Oh God, sorry. Having problems there. There's not like a first-person mode in this game, so it's kind of wonky sometimes. But yeah, so I was, thinking about if this is possible in this game or not. I kind of assumed it was, just because, like, everything in this game is very malleable, I guess you could say. Like, you can put things very close to each other, and they still function well, and all that kind of stuff. In Jurassic World Evolution, the big problem was, like, the bodies would clip through the fence, but in these, like, the fence sizes compared to the animals, like, since you have a lot of variation, you can kind of mess around with the different sizes and find the ones that work. Like, this, for instance, is the smallest of the barbed wire fences, or the metal fences, whereas, like, this is the middle wood fence, and oops, that over there, the glass one, is also the middle sized, and the kind of the stone wall looking white fence, that's also the middle sized one. This will obviously also work with the small short fences, but I do find that those small fences, I mean, these guys could walk right over them. They could probably walk right through these if we're being realistic. But so with the taller fence, it looks better in my opinion than with the shorter fence, just because the short fence does not look like it can contain a Camarasaurus. But it's still a possibility, because, like, with the smaller Camarasaurus varieties in the game, like this one, depending on the angle that it approaches, it does clip through the glass a little bit at the top, whereas this guy over here, the striped neck ones, they are bigger, as you can clearly see. They are bigger, and they don't clip through as much. So you can play with which size fence you use, and you can also play with, like, which dinosaurs you put behind which fences. One thing I do recommend is that you put your water down first, and then you put your fence, because you kind of want to put your fence in the water a little bit. That definitely helps. Like over here where it's really low, this is where this one tends to go the most. Although he does go to the other ones as well. Like, he switches back and forth, but he does come over here, and he also comes over here. But, like, if you kind of make it so that there's, like, a dip in your fence, and then the other sides are higher and not as close to the water, you can sort of make it look like, kind of like here, where you have plants and stuff like that around it, so you kind of, like, make it like its own little drinking pond or something like that. Put some rocks here, maybe, make it look good. Like, I just put this over here to kind of be like, this is where your guests would be walking. I didn't connect it to anything. This is just, like, my testing area where I just screw around with ideas. But you'd have your guests walking over here, and then they could see it, like, drinking from its own little pool of water if you put some rocks around it or something like that, or just leaving it open. But I kind of like the idea of having the plants there, because it also, when this one in particular dips its head over, sometimes it looks like he's eating the plants, which is a cool look too. Like, I was trying to see if they would eat from the feeder, because that was also something we could do in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Or 1, I should say. Like I said, I still haven't tried this stuff in 2. I really should. Like, I was trying to see if they'd eat from the feeder, but the Camarasaurus' eating animations really, like, sometimes I don't see them. Like, sometimes like on my full park that I'm building, I see them eating from the feeders, but in here, like, I haven't seen them eat from the feeders once, and I have it on both sides of the fence. Like, I have feeders right next to each other on both sides of the fence, and I haven't seen them eating from them like once on either side. So I think the eating animations are off, and I think that once, you know, that sort of stuff is kind of fixed and we're out of beta, that's like something, you know, that if all of this still works, then I think, oh, see, there he is. Is he gonna go down? Oh, did he already? I think he might have been drinking while I wasn't looking. Oh, no, there we go. See, now now it looks like he's drinking or even like grabbing some of those yummy little berries on the other side of his fence. Hopefully they're not like poisonous or anything. But like I said, like having the fences in the water a little bit is helpful. And like on here, like the water just goes a tiny bit over into the enclosure. And I think that helps because then the dinosaur will come up to the fence, right up to the fence, and then dip over. You know, if you have the water too far back, then they'll bend over like somewhere here, and their head will like go through the fence, so it doesn't quite look as good, I should say, as well. You know, Camarasaurus, as far as like some of the sauropod species go, they are they're not huge. You know, they're not the biggest ones by any means. So in the future, when we get stuff like Brachiosaurus, or if we get something huge like a Mamenchisaurus or Dreadnoughtus, Supersaurus, Argentinosaurus, I'm drawing blanks on the big names, but you know, the really big guys, like, you know, I have a feeling that this stuff will work even better, and it may even work with the tall fences. Let's see if the little guy is gonna come over here. This one, the little kind of leopard spotted one, is the smallest variety, and but it still works. Like, it looks pretty good, and it still does it. One thing you definitely need to keep in mind is that the water does need to be deep. I had problems with them not doing it when like the water was only like 1 or 2 meters deep, but at the highest setting of 6 meters, like this over here is 6 meters, and they don't stick their whole head into it. Obviously, they don't stick their head that far, but I think the fact that it is that deep means that this area is at the right depth for them to drink from it. But so, like, from the front, that looks fine, right? And then, oh yeah, and it looks pretty good here too. Oh, see, it's cutting into it a little bit. So maybe if these fences were a little bit lower, if the ground was a little bit lower, they were a little farther into the deeper water, something like that. But I mean, that works pretty well, and that's like one of the shortest. That is the shortest Chimera and one of the taller medium fences. So it looks, you know, it looks pretty good. I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's a neat little thing. That's something I would think is cool if I saw it like at a you know, at a park. And it's just a matter of tweaking everything. Early access comes out in a couple months. It was April, so we got like 3 months or so. Hopefully once early access comes out, like, this will be something that it doesn't get, like, you know, fixed, quote unquote. I'm using air quotes. I know you can't see it, but I'm using air quotes. You know, fixed, because this is it's a cool mechanic. I can only imagine it's not intentional. It's just because of how things work in the game. But yeah, I really do like having these sorts of little things. They just add nice little touches to the game. Definitely gonna, like, you know, mess with it. It's something that's gonna take tweaking in every park. You know, it's always gonna kind of probably work differently depending on the size of the creature, the size of the fence, and all that kind of stuff. But it is a possibility to get your chimeras, and probably in the future and there goes another one again, probably in the future your other you know, sauropods to drink over the fences in Prehistoric Kingdom, and just kind of have a different sort of look for your park. I mean, obviously your enclosure would be different. I just did this to test out the different fences. But all right, that's gonna do it for this video. I am trying to make more you know, more videos that revolve around, like, kind of tips and ideas for not Jurassic Park, sorry, but Prehistoric Kingdom. But, you know, I know that not everyone has access to it right now, so I don't know how helpful that is. But, you know, maybe it'll give you some ideas for the future when it comes into early access in April, I believe it is. So, yeah, you know, it wouldn't be bad to be full up on ideas by the time early access gets here. So hopefully this will help you out a little bit with a nifty little thing. I really enjoy little tricks like this, you know, things that weren't necessarily intended, but that you can manipulate the environment to make it work. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll be back with more Prehistoric Kingdom real soon. Until then, have a good one.